session is Intelligent Impact Today and Beyond. Make sure that I hit the click. AI on the front lines of social impact, and will be opened with a presentation by Catherine Boychik, KB, right here, and AKA KB, the Chief Technology and Innovation Officer at EY. You can read about her in your booklet, but I want to share when I first experienced KB because she is an experience. I had just landed in Australia. My second day here, I went to the Executive Leadership Forum meeting, AKA the ELF, at Telstra. And all the speakers are up there, and then KB gets up there in a Wonder Woman t-shirt, and I think you had shiny high tops on too. And she talked about how her team and she was supporting schools. And as a former classroom teacher and technology specialist, I loved hearing that her focus was making sure schools were successful. So I invite KB up here for you to experience her as well.
Hi everyone, I'm after lunch and I don't want to make you do exercises, but if the AV team could just move the slide forward for me. The interesting thing about AI is that we're being promised a whole lot, and I'm sorry I don't have the Wonder Woman t-shirt out of retirement for today, but what I would say is AI done well feels like magic. It feels like collecting infinity stones, as my 11-year-old tells me. It feels like you are able to do things that you have been wanting to do for a really long time, and it's never been more cost effective and easier to do. So why are we faffing about so much? Like, why are we waiting so long to get a move on? I'd like to tell you a snippet around the psychology of leaning towards AI and how Australia compares to the rest of the world in terms of confidence. Because I think that's the secret to unlock. The shift isn't a technology transformation, it's a human-centred one. So I'm now going to do the classroom thing and stand at the side of the room, but Hamish, who's the photographer, is really mad that I'm walking away from centre of stage because that doesn't look good on social media. However, I would like you to kind of stay focused on the numbers over there. So the first thing I would say is that, you know, the good news is people are really excited about AI. Australia probably is a little bit more concerned than we would like compared to the excitement levels, particularly as the nation that invented Wi-Fi. And so we can invent really cool things in tech and actually lead the world with it. And so we need to be more confident with that. And finally, Australians just want stuff that works. And so I'm not going to tell you my name and date of birth 8 times for you to tell me that you can't pronounce Catherine or that the record's not found. Like, we just won't do that. It's not acceptable. So how could AI reshape our lives, and how does the Australian public feel about it? Fun fact, we're the middle of the pack. So Australia, compared to other regions around the world, we're not rushing to lead the pack, but 78% is a good number. Consciously using AI. I'm consciously interacting with it and consciously using it at work or at home. I'm not mad about this result, by the way. When you start to see where are people consciously engaging, you can see it's actually in services. So every time you provide a service to a customer, you can actually see 58% of Australians actually prefer AI, expect AI to be a part of the experience. And so take this as your social license. Like, start focusing there. Perhaps if you're in the energy business, you can see energy and financial services, Australians and New Zealanders are not as confident as our global counterparts in the energy sector in particular. And so this is a great way to go, where are we confident? Start where the confidence is and start reimagining the customer experience there. Again, integration in the customer experience. If you ever wanted a no-regret blueprint on where do we start, these are the customer episodes where customers are saying, I prefer AI first. I prefer an AI-led customer experience when I'm trying to access customer support, when I'm trying to wayfind. Australians, fun fact, I learnt in this research, Australians have the most one-click transport experience in the world. We have a one-click experience to check into airlines. We have a I think it's a two-click experience to order transport to our homes, to take us to the one-click check-in at the airport. And that's not normal in other countries around the world. So it's when you see transport like really peaking in the AI space, it's because of those sorts of things. If I move us into integration in personal lives, fun fact, clearly socialising with a virtual AI friend is a trend I'm not involved in, but apparently that's a growing use for AI in our personal lives. And so I asked my team to tell me what sits underneath that. And they said 1 million Australians have an emotional relationship with AI. That's a big number. So that was a surprising result in this data set. I think everything else you would expect, translation services, education services, being able to plan, design, etc., etc. Virtual pet, 2%. Virtual pets. This is the slide that bothers me. As someone that has to meet globally with my team in 150 countries around the world, I am sad that Australia's overall sentiment, which is excitement and confidence and trust, I am sad that Australia is so low at this level, because to me it doesn't match what I see day to day in people working in technology. It doesn't seem, for me, that I feel like we're a mobile-led society. We're very comfortable with banking online. We're very comfortable in those sorts of techs, but at a global level, we don't have the confidence yet to really shape the future. We are actually importing a lot of AI technology, and we're importing a lot of AI services as opposed to having Australian-led innovation. In saying that, there's some bright spots, but first, if you're interested, the full report is like 70 pages, so you can download it. I'm sure the Info Exchange team will make it available to you. But you can kind of see there's different confidence gaps. There's a slight gender gap on confidence. There is a gap in terms of regional location. There is a gap generationally, and there is a gap in terms of services versus professional services, labouring, etc., etc. And we expect that to evolve over time. I never thought I'd see us in the bottom left quartile as a nation, but here we are. This is essentially saying that we have two really large markets of AI in the global AI economy at the moment. We have a China-led economy that is cheap, cheerful, low cost, high reward, very fast-paced. And then we have a US-centric market with US-centric customers that are low and slow, spending a lot of money, using a lot of energy to transform using AI. And Japan seems to be navigating straight down the middle between the two markets. So this is just a watch this space and understand which market are you participating in and buying from the most. Excitement, I encourage you to track excitement. Sadly, also not a great result. We have a low excitement factor as a nation, which is crazy to me. We have two of the coolest AI startups in the world at the moment. We have Harrison AI. 50% of radiology experiences in hospitals around the world are using Australian-made Harrison AI, which is radiology AI. And then we've got Andromeda, which is at the robot, Abby, in aged care, that is reimagining patient care. They're two of the most innovative examples of AI disrupting healthcare. We just need more of those services quickly and unlocked quickly for society. And we need to kind of dial up the excitement that we've got. So how do we get there? One is, how do we evolve the narrative around AI being a threat to humans versus AI being assistive and an amplification moment for society? There's two kind of obvious places to play in government and public services. There's that healthcare, education, financial services. People are happy to use AI services, particularly when they're about protecting people's rights, safety, etc., law enforcement. And they're all also really looking for it in the customer experience. But if you were to tile it out, the report also kind of shows you that anything, by the way, that's over a score of 30 on these slides tells you that Australia has start moving, start investing in these areas. And you can see everything except accessing my personal data and critiquing me on it. I don't want to be told that I've ordered Subway 8 times. Don't critique me, but everything else is up for grabs. Control or agency, what really matters? So we ask people what keeps them up at night, and you can see that Australian and New Zealanders are disproportionately worried compared to our global counterparts in the study. And so is that what's holding us back? And how do we close that gap? How do we build that confidence? And for us, it comes down to a couple of things. One is we have to address this. We have to address this fear of blurred reality. Synthetic media, images and audio being created that is a deep fake, and that we don't have clear watermarking laws in Australia. And so as a result, we see a really heightened response in Australia and New Zealand compared to the rest of the world on synthetic media. And I look forward to seeing some formalised regulation to help assist us remove this. I also don't want us to be in an environment where we don't know what's true or not when we're reading the news and reading our devices. But it's interesting, it's so heightened in our results. Uh-oh, I broke the clicker. No, we're good. So at the final question we asked was, who do you think is responsible? Who do you trust to help you? And fun fact, transport companies we trust the most. What does that tell you? We love a good holiday in Australia. I think at the other end of the spectrum, though, it also kind of tells us that there's some work to do with government to earn back trust. There's work to do for the media and entertainment organisations to earn back trust. Technology companies feel the most centred and able to shift the conversation and to rebuild trust. And so I'd just like to leave you with a couple of things to take away today. AI is not a tech-led thing, it's a human-led thing, and it starts with having an AI-first mindset. And so if you recall, mobile-first mindset was a thing a decade or two ago. We are now shifting to an AI-first mindset. How do you reimagine the things that you're being asked to do today with AI front and centre? To be bold about it. If the extent of your AI strategy is about summarising meetings and automating agendas, you're missing the moment. They have agentic AI in robots spending an hour a day with aged care patients in 5 aged care centres. That's the sort of reimagine challenge that I want to leave with you. Be bold with how you're thinking about it. The third thing I would leave you with is there is always an upside to disruption, and you will either self-disrupt or you will allow for your boat to be capsized. I encourage you to lean towards the upside of self-disrupting, because working out who your partner is, who your technology partners are that can help you navigate self-disruption will allow you to get the upside and the learnings and the lessons. And then finally, agentic AI doesn't need to be scary. It should be done well and feel like gaining superpowers. In a sector that is often investment constrained, capital constrained, resource constrained, how do you use AI and become focused on it being a multiplier effect for your workforce? And with that, I'd say thank you so much for having me. If you want to download the full report, we've given you free access. So feel free to scan the QR code and get the full Australia-New Zealand report. And other than that, enjoy the rest of your conference. Thank you so much.